Yegorich decided to pay him a visit again. "Hello, Mikola." "Hello, Yegorich," replied Mikola. "Well, what's new in the world?" "Mikola, have you by chance seen any corn dusters around?" asked Yegorich. "Corn dusters," Mikola replied. "Yes, I saw them flying over the fields a few days ago, spraying some chemicals against bugs and pests." "What?" said Yegorich, looking perplexed. "Who was flying? Spraying what?" "The corn dusters." Mikola was surprised at the question. "Well, the planes." "What planes, Mikola?" the postman said. "If only—" "We have plunderers of state property lurking around," with a note of alarm in his voice said Yegorich. "A whole gang." "No way!" Mikola was even more surprised. "Well, Yegorich, tell me in more detail about these corn dusters." And Yegorich told him that supposedly a gang appeared in the neighborhood. They made holes in the oil pipe and plugged them with corn cobs. People nicknamed the gang the Corn Dusters, and what a ruthless gang it was. They have already been noticed doing their dirty business in the forest and on the collective farm field, and just recently even in the old Kuzma's orchard. Fortunately, old Kuzma saw them and drove them off in time. He said there were a lot of them, but as soon as they saw him, they scattered and ran away. "Whoa, hooligans," Mikola said, slightly perplexed and at the same time barely holding back a smile. "Well done, old Kuzma." "Yeah, they should know better than to mess with Kuzma," echoed the postman. "All right, take care, neighbor. I'll be on my way." "Yes, take care, Yegorich," Mikola said cheerfully. "Stop by again." "Oh, crumbs!" Mikola felt anxious at heart. "This is not good. People have begun suspecting something. Well, bless old Kuzma's fantasy. He came up with some gang, and the people believed him." "Heh, he drove away the gang, he says," Mikola muttered, grinning. "Ha, what a swaggerer." "Well, what's wrong with the cart?" the wife inquired strictly. "When are you going to fix it?" "I fixed it already," Mikola replied cheerfully. "We can go to the bee yard. By the way, do you know where our buckets went? We had 3 buckets, and I can't find a single one." The woman was perplexed. How should I know where the buckets went?" answered Mikola, pretending to be surprised. However, he remembered it clearly where the buckets had gone. Strange," the woman continued to wonder. "Where could they go? I had a strange dream tonight, as if our buckets were standing in Zhegosh's barn, and they smelled funny." What would they be doing at Zhegosh's barn? Somebody must have stolen them. Mikola decided to put forward an assumption. There are a lot of crooks around lately, always looking for something to steal. "This has never happened before." The wife wouldn't calm down. "Well, we're not finding them talking about it. Let's go to the bee yard." "All right," Mikola agreed, a little bewildered. "Let's just go through the field," the wife suggested confidently. We need to pick a few sunflowers. I'm out of sunflower oil." "All right," replied Mikola, sighing. "Let's go through the field." "Well, that's enough to make some oil," said Mikola, putting sunflowers into the cart. "We're almost there." We're finally there, Mikola sighed wearily. "I haven't been here in years." "You've got to be kidding me," Mikola said in amazement and felt weak in the knees. "There's a pipe here. By George." "Oh, well," Mikola said, a little sadder. "I don't even have a drill. Maybe there's something in the shack. I need to take a look." "Whoa," said Mikola in surprise, looking at a jackhammer. "I wonder why would my father-in-law have something like this at a bee yard?" This looks like A compressor, thought Mikola happily. Well, at least I have something to make a hole in the pipe with. So, how do I make it work? Mikola muttered confusedly. I'll figure it out, Mikola muttered, looking at the mechanism. If I manage to turn on my wife, I'll figure out how to turn on the compressor. Right, the starter, exclaimed Mikola. I forgot about the starter. So, now why doesn't it start? Mikola muttered perplexedly. Ah, I see, Mikola grinned. It's out of diesel. I wonder if there's some around. There isn't any, Mikola lamented disappointedly. I'll have to go back to the farm for the fuel. He was about to return to the farm when he suddenly remembered that he had seen a tractor on the sunflower field. I should check it, Mikola thought. Maybe it has some diesel in it. Oh, it seems there's something left, Mikola said. Let me get some in the canister. And while Mikola was draining the diesel fuel from the tractor, he came up with an idea how to speed up the draining of oil from the pipe. Howdy do, Mikola greeted the fireman cheerfully. Howdy yourself, the fireman replied idly. It looks like you have an old pump here, said Mikola smiling. Can you lend it to me for a short while? I want to pump some water from the well at the bee yard. I'm not allowed, the fireman replied sternly. It's state property. I'm responsible for it. Well, Mikola was not taken aback. I'll use it really carefully and bring it back right away. I can also get you some honey as a sign of gratitude. A sweet deal, huh? I would be happy to help, the fireman replied more softly, but I just can't. If you want to use the property, you can only do it under my supervision, and I can't go with you. If there's fire somewhere, I must immediately respond and put it out. Mikola muttered in frustration, realizing that he would have to drain the oil with a hose. All right, I'll just have to carry the water in buckets, it seems. Okay, take care. Take care, the fireman said regretfully, realizing that he wouldn't be getting. So you say, if something catches on fire, you should respond immediately? Mikola muttered with a sly smile. I think I have a fine idea. Well, old Kuzma, couldn't you find anything better to disguise it with? Oh, that's exactly what I need, exclaimed Mikola joyfully. I hope old Kuzma will not be very upset that I borrowed his shrubbery. But then, old Kuzma will be able to tell everyone then how he heroically drove away a gang of shrubbery thieves, Mikola muttered quietly, and with a smirk. Done, sighed Mikola with relief. Now I can go back. Burn, baby, burn. Let the firemen take care of you, Mikola muttered fervently, returning to the bee yard. As our cunning and contented Mikola was walking towards the bee yard, a roaring fire truck rushed past him. Hey, they fell for it, hey hey. It's so pleasant to deal with responsible people, muttered Mikola sarcastically, watching the firefighters go. Well, now I need to be quick and get the pump to the bee yard. Whoa, it's heavy, the smooth operator grunted. Heavier than it looked. Ah, finally, Mikola sighed in relief. Done, Mikola muttered joyfully. What a beautiful big hole. All right, I just need to figure out what to pump the oil into, thought Mikola. Hey, rejoiced Mikola, this barrel will do. It's a good thing that the wife came with me, thought Mikola to himself. I thought she would be a hindrance, but it turned out the other way around. Wife, shouted Mikola, is there much honey left to collect? Well, while you were wandering, heck knows where, wife said angrily, I almost got all of it. That's good, replied Mikola in a satisfied tone. Come along, please, help me. What are you up to? The woman was angry. You should be helping me. Don't worry, Mikola replied confidently. It's nothing special. Just help me a bit, all right? Oh, Mikola, the wife said anxiously. You're always up to something. Where did all you come from? Yelled scared Mikola. Wife, hold on, exclaimed Mikola. I'll deal with them. Shoot, get out of here. Do you hear me? Menacingly shouted Mikola, brandishing a broom. Look at those little bastards, Mikola muttered angrily. How do I drive you away? Good golly, a smoker is what I need, exclaimed Mikola. I only need to get some smoke. Hold on, wife. I'll be back in an instant. I'm going to fetch some smoke, exclaimed Mikola cheerfully. They hate smoke. And the smoke came in handy again, Mikola muttered breathlessly. Now get out of here, Mikola cried out belligerently, driving away the bees. Phew, looks like they're gone, Mikola sighed with relief. I saved you, Mikola proudly declared. Like a prince on a white horse, let's continue pumping. You are my savior. The woman looked at her husband with emotion. It is strange that they did not react to you. It looks like you're sweeter, Mikola winked mischievously. Oh, your jokes again, the woman said softly, all her severity gone. All right, we're done here, said Mikola joyfully. Let's walk back now. Walk? The wife asked in surprise. And what about the cart with the barrels? I'll get them later, Mikola replied confidently. Don't worry, we gathered the honey after all. Mikola and his wife returned to their homestead. Not wasting time, Mikola went straight to the clearing. Son of a biscuit, Mikola swore. I knew it. I should have hidden the still. What a piece of bad luck. Oh. Only one option remains, Mikola mused to himself. To offer Grzegorz to buy raw, unrefined oil. Hello, brother, Mikola greeted his brother-in-law by telephone. Hello, Mikola, said Grzegorz at the other end of the line. Well, my oil refinery is temporarily out of order, Mikola stated, but I can offer you some raw material. Will you buy it? Oh, what am I going to do with it? The surprised brother-in-law inquired. Don't worry, Mikola assured him. We will build a new refinery later on your side of the river, and the price will be cheaper for you. Whoa. All right then, Grzegorz said. Let's do it. Well, it's a deal then. Prepare your money, said Mikola, and hung up. Break on a stick, Mikola swore, looking at the dismantled ferry. When did they manage to take it apart? Do I have to use the bridge to cross now? Mikola thought indignantly. Hold! Who goes there? The border guard shouted menacingly. Don't shoot! Mikola blurted in a fright. Who are you? Asked the sentry. I'm Mikola. I live nearby, replied Mikola, a little bewildered. I'm going to my brother-in-law. He lives on the other side. What's that? Asked the sentry, pointing at the barrel. It's a barrel, Mikola said innocently. I can see it's a barrel. What's inside? Said the guard menacingly. Oil, replied Mikola, deciding to be honest in such a delicate situation. Is it declared? Do you have there a transportation permit, a certificate of quality, rabies vaccination? The guard continued his onslaught. I don't have anything like that, and I'm quite healthy, thank you, Mikola said indignantly. Then you can't cross the border with the barrel, the guard replied dryly. And how can I cross it? Asked Mikola. Without the barrel, replied the sentry. But you can't with the barrel. Got it, thanks. Goodbye, Mikola said in one breath, and went back to the homestead disappointed. Mikola returned to the farm, feeling miserable and trying to figure out how to transport the oil to Grzegorz. And no matter how hard Mikola was thinking, he couldn't come up with a single idea, and the whole business took an unpleasant turn. And here came Yegorich again. He has become a frequent visitor lately. Hi, Yegorich. You're becoming a regular here, aren't you? What's the news? Asked Mikola. Well, that's my job, replied Yegorich. I go back and forth all the time, and the road goes through your homestead. And today I have a very important mission. I'm bringing the mail to the head of the border guards. General Kulabyadko is coming. He's going to inspect the new bridge and the border post. But look, this is classified information. I'm not supposed to tell this to anyone. I'm only telling you because, hey, you're a good fellow. Blimey, Mikola said. General Kulabyatko is an important Whig. He loves seeing people grovel before him. I bet it won't be just an inspection, but a whole parade in his honor." "That's for sure," Yegorich agreed. "This Kulabyatko is known throughout the country for his temper." "Yegorich," Mikola said mysteriously, "have I treated you to my new batch of moonshine yet?" "Nope," the postman said in anticipation. "Do you want some?" "With pleasure," Yegorich rejoiced. Mikola knew that the guards were ready to do anything to curry favor with the general, which means there will be a lot of fuss and they won't be so vigilant. For some time, the soldiers will not care about either the bridge or the river. "This is a great chance," thought the savvy Mikola. "I only have to find out the time of the general's visit." "He's asleep." Mikola resolutely proceeded to his plan. "So, where is the letter? Aha!" Mikola rejoiced. "So I see. Now, let's carefully put it back," muttered Mikola, returning the letter. "Yegorich! Yegorich!" Mikola shouted out loud. "Ah, what? Who's asleep? Me?" The postman jumped up, rather scared. "I was just blinking slowly, thinking about stuff." "Yeah," Mikola grinned. "That's what I thought. Well, so long, I need to get going." Yeah, take care, Mikola," replied the sleepy postman. "I need to be going." "Hello, brother," Mikola said into the telephone receiver with sadness. "I couldn't get to you today. It's done, the border, the guards and all." "Oh, what a bummer," Grzegorz said, rather upset. "What do we do now?" "I have a plan," Mikola said mysteriously. "Do you have a barrel?" "I've got one," said Grzegorz, wondering what Mikola came up with. "So, tomorrow, after midnight, be on the shore where the ferry had been," Mikola said conspiratorially. "I'll throw a hose to your side, and then I'll pump the oil over to you." "All right," Grzegorz said confusedly. "Well, that's one heck of a plan, Mikola, but what if—" "No ifs," Mikola interrupted confidently. "No ifs," he repeated, and hung up. jumped up in the middle of the night, like a madman, eyes wide, lips trembling, heart beating loudly, his whole body shaking with fear. "Oh, jeepers cripes, what a nightmare!" Mikola muttered fearfully, coming to his senses. "It's time to finish with this whole business, or I'll get shot for real. To heck with the homestead. My life is more precious." "3 days have already passed since that night when Mikola had a disturbing dream. Mikola, although a risky man, was superstitious. He did not dare to transport oil in such an openly doubtful and clearly illegal way. Moreover, this would not improve his situation by a lot, so he decided it wasn't worth the risk. With each passing day, Mikola realized more and more clearly that he wouldn't be able to save his homestead. The bank called again and reminded him that the loan repayment term was coming to an end, and it was time to pay off the debt, or the farm would be put up for auction. Mikola realized that he had no other choice but to accept his fate and come to terms with the fact that he was going to lose his homestead, and therefore he decided to begin selling some of his things. Mikola recalled how his former partner Stepan, with whom he had worked on a diesel locomotive for 30 years, had been asking him to sell his tractor. Mikola had a very good tractor. Everyone in the neighborhood was envious. Miserable Mikola decided to call his old friend and ask if he still wanted to buy the tractor. "Hello, Stepan," Mikola greeted his former partner. "Have you changed your mind about buying the tractor?" "Hi, Mikola." Stepan was delighted to hear him. "Of course not. I'll buy it with pleasure. Did you decide to sell it after all?" "Yeah, I'm selling it," Mikola replied sadly. "By the way, do you need a diesel pump? I have found one." "Why not?" Stepan agreed happily. "If you bring it here, I'll buy it." "All right, deal," said Mikola. "I'll visit you at the depot then." "I'll be waiting," replied Stepan. "All right," Mikola muttered thoughtfully to himself. "I still need to install the tractor's engine." Mikola had finished fixing the engine shortly before. Mikola always took good care of his equipment. "What the?" Mikola exclaimed in surprise. "Where is the electricity?" Oh, by George! Mikola swore out loud. Those doggone hooligans! I think I had some fuses somewhere, Mikola muttered under his breath. Here's one, said Mikola. I need one more. Whoa, what is this thing doing here? Exclaimed Mikola in surprise, looking at his four-legged friend. Polkan had brought a fuse to his bowl, thinking it was a bone. I should give him a real bone instead, thought the grateful owner. All right, done. Mikola looked around once again. Son of a biscuit! Mikola already cursed again. Well, it seems everything is ready, Mikola said with sadness in his voice. I can get going. Before he could leave, Yegorich was on his doorstep. Long time no see, thought Mikola. Hello, Yegorich. Mikola greeted the postman politely. Well, what news do you bring this time? Hi, Mikola. Yegorich began anxiously. I bring very important news. Did you hear that they're gonna restore the pipeline and use it again? This, of course, could be a rumor, but I've already seen some workers several times while they were examining different parts of the pipe. Looks like this has something to do with the border. I see. Yes, very important news indeed, Mikola replied coldly. Good for them if they really are gonna. Also, because of the frequent cases of the pipe being damaged, Yegorich continued, well, I told you about that gang of corn dusters. So the authorities decided to tighten the security around the parts of the pipe that go above the ground. Good for them, Mikola replied, only to keep the conversation going. They should keep a good eye on it. That's for sure, Yegorich nodded. So long, Mikola, I should be going. So long, Yegorich, replied Mikola, bringing the good news to the people, he he he. Okay, muttered Mikola. Well, since nobody needs it, it's mine now. I should get old Kuzma a new tire for his shrubbery, thought Mikola. Hello, Kuzma, Mikola greeted the old man. I have an extra tire here. Do you happen to need it? Hi, Mikola, the guard replied. Wow, of course I need it. Old Kuzma was delighted. Some hooligans burnt the one I had the other day. No way, said Mikola in surprise. Oh, kids these days, eh? Yeah, the grandfather grinned. Those kids. Listen, Kuma, I heard that you took care of a local band of thieves. Mikola decided to cheer up the old man. Yeah, Kuzma replied proudly. That I did, drove them away. You should have seen them running for their lives. For their lives, you say? Mikola winked ironically. Well, you love to stretch the truth, don't you? Well, Mikola, Kuzma said in a serious tone, it's worth stretching the truth to cover an old friend's ass. What are you talking about? Mikola did not hide his surprise. About the same old business, Mikola, the guard continued confidently. Do you think I'm so old that I'm out of my mind? I've known that band of thieves, the old man said strictly, without changing the timbre of his voice, or should I say that bandit, since he was toddling around the farmstead with his pants down. No way. And who is that? Mikola asked, bewildered and slightly scared. Come on, old man, spill it already. Mikola, old Kuzma retorted angrily, stop fooling around. When I first mentioned the pipe, I immediately noticed how nervous you were, and when I woke up and saw the hole in the pipe, I knew right away. Mikola, I may be old, but I'm not stupid. Your dad and I were intelligence officers together during the war. Listen, Kuzma. Mikola tried to come up with an excuse. Oh, shut up, old Kuzma said sharply. I don't want to hear it. I didn't tell on you. I understand that you didn't do it because you're a bad guy. The old man continued with regret, and even with slight sympathy in his voice. So I came up with the story about that gang of thieves. I'm sorry, Kuzma, Mikola said, bowing his head in shame. And thank you for not giving me up. It's nothing. I know about your story with the bank. Kuzma, Mikola continued guiltily, I also burnt your shrubbery. Forgive me. I know that too, Mikola, old Kuzma said a little encouragingly. I saw you fooling around here, and then the firemen came and extinguished the fire. I was watering an apple tree at the time. Mikola, Kuzma said instructively, listen to an old man's advice. The pipe is going to be guarded now. Quit messing with it before you get into some real trouble. Yeah, said Mikola dejectedly. I'm already done with it. Well, off I go then, Mikola said a little more confidently. Take care, Mikola, the old man replied, seeing him off. I don't hold any grudge against you. All the best. Thank you, replied Mikola, and all the best to you. Swamps. Mikola muttered to himself, recalling the times when his grandfather had worked at the mill. It was so beautiful here once. There used to be a pond where the swamp is now, and the trees were so tall and beautiful, and now everything is overgrown with reeds. The trees are withered. Oh, bother. tracker, Mikola said angrily, getting off the tractor. By the way, Mikola thought, if my memory serves me, there used to be a pipe somewhere around here. Lol! With great surprise, said Mikola. He had once heard this expression from his grandson. The memory does serve me. Looks like the guards haven't reached this place yet. What do I care now, though? The depot's not far, thought Mikola. I could walk there on foot, and then Stepan will help me to pull out the tractor. Even before Mikola reached the depot, his memories had overwhelmed him. He'd worked as a train driver for almost 30 years at the depot. He knew every stone here. Hello there, Stepan, Mikola cheerfully greeted his old acquaintance. Hello, Mikola, his former partner replied with a friendly smile. And where is the tractor? Weren't you going to sell a tractor? Not a trolley. The tractor is in the swamp. I couldn't drive all the way through it, Mikola said dejectedly. Wow, why the heck did you go through the swamp? Asked Stepan in surprise. You should have gone around it. Well, I decided to go through the old places to remember the old days, Mikola said. There used to be a good road there, you know. The road has been gone for a long time now, replied Stepan with understanding. After they abandoned the mill. Anyway, how are we going to pull the tractor out? Listen, Mikola said cheerfully. Is the locomotive still running? Well, it's written off, but still runs like a beast, assured Stepan. That's great, Mikola said resolutely. Let's do it like this. I'll go back to the tractor on the train and pull it out of the swamp with the winch. Well, all right then, the partner agreed. Do you still remember how to drive it? My hands remember, Mikola said confidently. Thanks, Stepan. I'll be right back. So, the winch is working. Mikola checked the device knowingly. Done, said Mikola confidently. Well, now as in the good old times, slow and steady, Mikola said encouragingly, and hopefully starting the machine. Frick on a stick, it looks like I didn't secure it well enough, exclaimed Mikola when he saw that the pump broke loose. Okay, I'll get the tractor out of here first, Mikola decided, and then I'll return for the pump. Mikola, Mikola! His former partner shouted anxiously. I need your help. What happened, Stepan? Mikola was perplexed. Well, the thing is, Stepan began in frustration. Well, do you remember the old Nazi train that was sitting here since the war? Some foreign museum bought it and we were supposed to transfer it today, both the engine and the cars. And can you imagine, the new driver got drunk like heck. He's out cold. Oh, it's going to be an international scandal unless you help out. What is it I can help with here? Mikola said in surprise. Am I supposed to sober up the driver or what? No, it's useless, the partner said in frustration. You know that old train like the back of your hand? You used to drive it all the time to all sorts of exhibitions. Can you drive it over the border before the bosses tan my hide? It's a piece of cake to you. I'll be forever in your debt. Oh, well, how am I going to cross the border? Mikola was surprised at such an unexpected offer. I don't have any papers. You won't need any papers, Mikola, Stepan objected confidently. You are transporting a museum exhibit, not some commercial commodity. Everyone at the border knows about it. You'll have a special status. You won't even have to stop. You'll be able to go on full speed till the end of the line. Oh, well, if you say so, I'm happy to help, Mikola said. Get the engine ready, and I'll go get the pump out and come right back. All right. Stepan was delighted. I'll get the train ready in the meantime. Mikola went to the tractor thinking, who am I kidding? The fate itself gives such a chance. There's a welder on the train. I can cut the pipe with it. And here's an abandoned tank. The oil pipeline is under pressure, which means there is more than enough oil in it, and most importantly, I can cross the border. They'll let me through with honor. Good thing I went this way, Mikola continued, convincing himself. The stars must have aligned. Besides, I've got nothing left to lose. Well, Mikola said cheerfully and confidently, how about some high stakes? I need to be careful. Old Kuzma said that the pipe is under guard now. So that means I need to use my head. Phew! Finally, muttered Mikola, after making a hole with a welder and inserting a hose. Come on, dear, slow and steady. With bated breath, said Mikola, starting the pump. Great! So far, everything is going according to the plan. Mikola was very superstitious, and he spat 3 times over his left shoulder and tapped the crown of his head. Well, Stepan, is everything ready? Mikola asked his former partner. It's ready, Mikola. You can set off. Just do not forget to get some water at the bay, Stepan admonished, or you'll run out of it on the way. Got it, Mikola said confidently. Well, as the saying goes, good luck.